did not talk to me for a week. That was the worst time of my life. No. Like, I didn't center that time around a man. And again, I take accountability for everything. But researching stuff about a situation that you're in, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. All right, y'all. So we're back today with another story time video. It is early right now. I'm getting my day started. I do have to film a couple of hair videos today, so I figured that I would do a makeup tutorial while I did a story time today. Shout out to everyone. Everyone that watched the last story time. I appreciate all the comments and all like the positive vibes and stuff like that. I just want to kind of like address a few things, like just because I feel like some people just, if you haven't been here or you're just stopping in because you got the video recommended to you. I'm using the e.l.f. primer, by the way. Yo, I went on Amazon and I found this e.l.f. primer for $8.97. It was on sale. So definitely check out Amazon. Sometimes these be on sale. I gotta go to the package room later to pick it up. Love this product. It's real good. But like I was saying, I feel like some people are new here and just really don't know like the whole who I am or anything like that, so I think there's some confusion. But I just want to like address a couple of things because I like, let's just talk real quick. Like, let's just have an open conversation real quick. Like, me texting and calling this guy was all related to safety purposes, y'all. Like, I didn't care about who this dude was sucking or fucking. I just wanted to make sure that this person wasn't dead. Like, let's use like some common sense right here. Like, I was detached. I didn't really care about what he was doing. I wasn't looking. And again, if y'all noticed in the last story time, I didn't mention anything about cheating or anything like that because I didn't care. Like, those, I'm not clocking, dude. It was more of a safety thing, y'all, right? That's the human side of me, right? Just because I couldn't stand this man doesn't mean I didn't care about, like, you know, safety reasons. Like, if he was scraped off the road dead or something like that. Like, y'all know what I mean. Like, regardless, I have empathy and I still have a heart because I'm human. It's a human thing. Right, guys? Y'all kind of catch my drift when I say that. Like I don't have to be in love with the person, but I could have platonic love for the person. You get what I'm saying? Like, just like love for the person, right? And that's just human. Like, any human would be like that. The person was around for years, so of course, subconsciously, I would care about the person in regards at that point of detachment for safety reasons. That's it. Like, I didn't care what this person was doing. Like, I was never, like I said in the last story time, I wasn't clocking. I didn't care. Like, I wasn't trying to check on the ladies. Man, I don't care about that. Like, really? Like, I really didn't care. And notice how in the story time, I didn't pull out my DSM-5 book and create a diagnosis. You know? That's beyond the scope of my RN practice. But y'all all read the room, right? So you guys all kind of see what was going on. So I really appreciate that for the ones that kind of know and understand instead of assuming and just not getting, like, it's easy, guys. I could explain it to you. But we're going to move past that story time. And today I'm just going to talk about another red flag that I experienced. And, you know, it kind of goes into the whole thing, you know, about, you know, that DSM-5. Yeah? So this story time today that I'm going to get into is about when I experienced the silent treatment. Eyeshadow look today. I did go ahead and prime my eyelids with a Milk Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I got this in a PR package from Milk a while ago, so I'll be using this on my eyelids. Sometimes I use the e.l.f. primer all over, but I ain't do it this time. I'm going to just do basic look, guys. I'll leave all the products down below. I am using a ColourPop's Whatever palette, and I got this at Marshall's for like $6. So if I could find them at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, I'm gonna get the palette from them because it's always gonna be cheap. It don't matter if it's out of season, the colors still pop. So getting into the story time today, guys. How do I start this? Okay, so I kind of have to give a background to get into the reason why I got the silent treatment, right? That's how you do a story time. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't know, but I guess it's the nerves. Telling these stories makes me freaking nervous. I swear, I'm nervous right now, but it is what it is. Just get it out. All right, so the person I was dating at this time he had like a group of friends, like his school friends or whatever, and he had like, you know, I'm really weird about this. I feel like at your big age, creating new random friends is just really strange to me. Like, not saying that you can't make friends, but creating a completely different group of friends that just randomly pop out of nowhere is just weird, especially when the interest or like the level is kind of like shifted. Like the person has like an outstanding, like a great job, and the other people don't have a job. So it was just kind of weird on how that collided together. And I never really got a story on how that was, because one thing that this person did was pin the people against me to, I guess, to build, I realized after what they were trying to do. So this new group of friends, I guess they just kind of showed up randomly within like the third year of us being together. They kind of like showed up randomly, and it was like, oh, like this homeboy or whatever. He had like a new homeboy, and the homeboy had like other like minions that were like in a group or whatever. One thing that the person did really well was separate me from that group. So I remember one time the person came back and was like that the homeboy's girlfriend said that I unfollowed her on Instagram. Now I have over 120,000 followers on Instagram. I'm not gonna go on Instagram and go through the follows to find her, to delete her. I don't care. Like, why would I do that? Like, and I'm like, why would I do that? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, maybe like, you know, I was like, what? So that's the first time I realized how he's trying to pin us apart. Like, to make me beef with them because they trying to throw some fake story about me unfollowing them. So I peeped that one first. I already knew that, right? So it just became kind of weird. And one thing about it, I mean, if you're going to hang out with your homeboy and he has a girlfriend, why aren't we hanging out together? Which I didn't care about anyways, because they were not people that I would hang out with. And I'm going to be completely honest. They're not people that I would ever like hang out with. They're just not my type of people. Like, we don't do the same things. Like, y'all get what I'm kind of saying. That's what I'm saying. It was just kind of weird how that group, those people just became like this new like life. Like, this homeboy became this new everything in this person's life, and I just find it kind of like strange or whatever. So again, pinned us apart, so that therefore I was never invited to things that they did. They would do the person would go do things with those people, and I would never get invited to be like group things, and I'm just kind of like, okay, that's strange, right? But you set it up that way to use that homeboy as a cover if you are outgoing doing things, or maybe there's something else. So y'all get kind of what I mean in this scenario. I hope I'm saying it clear enough for you guys to understand. But it was a setup so that I would never ever be able to go to those people's place, that homeboy's house, or I would never be able to have access to the homeboy if the person pinned us against each other. Get what I'm saying? So he planted that seed. And I peeped that from day one, but again, I would never hang out with those people anyway, so you didn't have to worry about me. They're just not my type of people anyways. So I remember one day there was a mail came in, and the mail was open on the table. So I was going through my mail, and I was going through the whole pile of mail, right? So there was a piece of mail that came in, and the mail was basically like a registration and insurance for a car. So at the time, I'm kind of like, registration insurance for a car? What car you bought? You know what I'm saying? Like, you bought a car? Like, when did you get a car? Like, I know you on a bike, like, or whatever. Like, I don't get, like, where are you getting this car from? So I look at it, and I remember that one of the homeboys, well, the homeboy recently purchased a vehicle, and the vehicle was kind of the same vehicle, right? So then I realized that the only way for someone to register and insure a car is if they purchase the vehicle under their name. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, like what? Like I'm saying this coming from me. This is not something that my friends would come up to me and ask me to do. Like, you know, this person is a grown man with a wife and children. Why are you not able to do things like that by yourself? I just found that super strange. And the fact that you would go ahead and take on a responsibility like that, especially when you can't even get your own car and you can't even get your own registration, your own insurance on your own car, you would go ahead and lean your back over and do it for somebody that's a complete stranger that you've just met. Like, you'll do all that for a complete stranger that you just met. And that's a huge liability too, guys. Like, going ahead and doing a registration and insurance for someone, especially if the person does not have a license, does not have a driver's license. The person does not have a driver's license, okay? You're putting yourself on the line, because if anything happens, it's on you, right? So me being a common person, right, a reasonable person, I'm going up to my party to just say, you know, hey, like, I don't think you should do that. Like, you know, like, that's a huge liability, you know? Like, I don't think that's like safe. Like, I don't think you should do that. Like, that's it. That you're putting yourself in a huge liability. Like, this person does not have a driver's license. This person, like, why would you put yourself in that situation, right? Right? And the thing about that is, another thing, like I said, that is not something that a friend would ask you to do. Like, regardless, you know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like that's something that a friend would ask you to do. Why would you, like, you are a grown adult with a family. Like, why would you, like, I don't know. And maybe I was being too judgy, I guess. You guys could say, maybe am I being too judgy? Because in my head, I'm thinking, like, my friends would never ask me to do no stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the person has no driver's license. Why are you purchasing a vehicle? Like, you know, can we get like some, like, you know, can we like, you know, talk about that part too? Like, what? Like, that is so dangerous. But again, maybe I was overreaching. Maybe it wasn't my place and I should have known that, because it was none of my business at that point, right? I should have just mind my business and let that go, because again, it was none of my business and he was going to do what he wanted to do. So after that conversation happened, I kid you guys not, this dude stopped talking to me. When I tell you guys, this guy stopped talking to me. And let me tell you guys something, though. It wasn't even no blowout argument. It was literally just me saying, hey, I don't think, you know, that's something that, you know, you should do, because it's explaining the same way I'm explaining it to you guys. Less tone, less aggression. But the same way I'm explaining it to you guys, that's the same way I said it. I guess he did not like that. He did not appreciate that. He didn't want me talking about his homeboy like that. He didn't want me, you know, speaking like that about the whole situation. And I guess he didn't want me getting in his business again. All right, cool. So day one goes. And at that point, I'm just kind of like, I really don't care. Like, okay, you're not going to talk to me. There's been times before that, you know, ain't talk for a day or something, or like a couple of hours, and then, you know, the person would talk to me again. So I figured it was going to be kind of like one of those scenarios where it's kind of like, you know, he'll eventually come around and talk to me, right? Y'all did not talk to me for a week. So again, day one, I was cool with it. Like, you don't have to talk to me day one. I really don't care. Like, I'm not sweating it or whatever, right? Because again, there's been times before that the person has done that to me before. So I wasn't really like pressed about anything. Like, I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I really didn't feel like that conversation needed to be blown out like that. But if that person felt like I disrespected their homeboy that bad and I disrespected them, okay, fine, whatever, right? So day two goes by, the person's still not speaking to me. And again, this is the first time that I've actually lived with a significant other. So you got to kind of think about it in my sense. Like, how can you live with somebody and not speak to them? I just could not understand that concept, guys. Like, I could not understand it. Like, I had no idea what the hell was going on. And I'm like, yo, is this like normal? And around this time, TikTok was kind of like on the come up. But there wasn't a lot of stuff on TikTok. I don't know why I had to do all that just to get the concealer on the bottom, but y'all see the work. So at that time, TikTok was just out, but it wasn't really booming with kind of videos and stuff like that. So I was going on Reddit and stuff like that, and I was going on Google, and I was typing it on Google, my partner is not speaking to me, he's not talking to me at all or whatever, like, what do I do? And I was getting all of these articles and like all of these Reddit conversation panels, and people were talking about how the same thing happened to them. And I'm like, am I like, what's going on? And then a lot of things about like emotional abuse and then like mental abuse started coming up, right? And then that's when I saw like stuff about the silent treatment and stuff about like narcissistic abuse and stuff like that. And then I started going into like a deep dive, because I couldn't understand how you could live with somebody and like sleep in the same bed with the person, and the person could completely not talk to you or act like you're not there. I've never, and again, this is one of the relationships where I actually lived with the person for the first time. So I had to learn a lot of stuff along the way. And it was really hard, guys. It was really hard because I was just confused. Like, I didn't understand that. For me, I'm thinking like, oh, relationships aren't this hard. Like, it can't be this hard. Like, why is this hard? All right, y'all, so I had to go ahead and powder up because I feel like I'm jaw jacking a little bit too much. So I want to kind of get this makeup, situated real quick. So again, if you have to Google stuff, if you have to go on Reddit, if you have to go on TikTok, start researching stuff about a situation that you're in, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I'm telling you guys, you're in trouble, because there's no reason why you would have to research a behavior that just does not seem right. Like something just does not seem right. And I tell you, I used to stay up at night, right? And I used to go on Reddit, and I used to just read articles about other people, even stuff about like showing up late in the morning and just having like this bland excuse. I typed stuff in every scenario that I went through, every red flag, every situation. I was always Googling other people's experience, and Reddit was the savior for me. Even when TikTok started creeping in, I started typing in the same scenarios on TikTok as well too. And this was around 2021, 2022, right after the trip, that trip y'all always talk about. That right after that trip, I went back and I started, going on TikTok. That's when I started doing my research on TikTok, and I started seeing a lot of people talking about the same scenarios. And in my head, I'm like, did we all date the same person? Were we all in the relationship with the same person? Because how is this happening to all of us? I mean, it's not happening to all, but the majority of people, the majority of things that I saw and the comparisons related to like what I went through and what a lot of other people went through was very, very shocking for me. So at that point, that's when I started to feel like I wasn't alone. And I started to see other people getting out of those situations and basically telling you what to do. Now, around that time, I was pretty smart about it, because I realized that the person wasn't speaking to me. So I never engaged. I never tried. Like, I started around day 3 or whatever, day 4, once I was doing my research, people were telling you like how to deal with it, and they're just basically saying just to ignore the person. Don't talk, don't engage, just go about your business. And again, it was kind of hard for me in the beginning, because I couldn't understand why somebody would do that. Why would you do that to somebody that you're supposed to be in love with or dating or whatever it is, or have love for? Why would you want to do that? So again, even though it was hard, I said to myself, you know what, I'm not doing this. So I went along and I just did not cave in. I didn't feed into it and went about my business. So after starving this person of any type of attention or any type of reaction, the person eventually kind of like gaslit and kind of changed the subject. I'm not even really sure how that happened, but that wasn't the first time the person, did the silent treatment on me. But I learned quickly how to just, ignore it and go about my business. With this entire situation has taught me a lot, guys, especially after I ended the situation, because even though I was researching all this stuff and trying to figure out what was going on, I think once I started therapy 2 weeks after I ended it, therapy really, really helped me figure out like a lot of the stuff. A lot of you guys will recognize now, like even if you look back at my other videos, my skin was so stressed. Like I was so stressed out, like so fucking stressed out. My skin was showing it the most. Like I was looking so drained, so dry. Like I have pictures and I'm like, yo, I just was not like in my best, like at my best. Even that time, I don't know if you guys remember that I had that retrograde arthritis. There was like a lot of like little things that were happening to me along the way. Like my stress level was really bad. So I was getting kind of like sick. And my skin just was doing bad. But you guys kind of see like now, like I'm just getting my life back. Like my life is coming back together. Like I'm just in a different space, in a different light. And again, starting therapy 2 weeks after the breakup gave me so much reassurance and understanding on what I was going through. All the emotional, mental abuse was literally draining the life out of me. And y'all don't understand, when you're dealing with that DSM-5 category of a person, it is very, very emotionally and mentally draining. And at the same time, I'm not taking anything away from people that actually get physically abused, because all that abuse is bad. Every single part of the abuse is bad in general. I don't wish any of that on anybody. That emotional, mental abuse will definitely tear you down. And one thing I always say to you guys, I mentioned this a while ago, like I'm so thankful that one thing that can never be taken away from me is my self-esteem. And the reason why my self-esteem was never taken away from me is because you guys always hype me up. Even during those times, you guys were the ones hyping me up. I got nothing from the person that I was living with. Nothing. Nothing. And I was sad about it, but then I had strangers, people that I've never met in my life who believed in me, who thought I was beautiful, who thought I was doing it, you know? And my self-esteem never was able to dim, and I think the person hated that. The person hated that because I've always had high self-esteem. And that was one thing that the person couldn't shake off of me because it just wasn't something that they could take from me. And you guys helped me along the way, even regardless if I don't know that, or regardless if you guys know that or not. It was y'all. I'm telling y'all that around that time when I was in that situation was the peak of my career. You guys were, I would go, there was times I would not want to stay home. I would go to Target, downtown Brooklyn, walk into the store. I would at least meet like 2 or 3 people in the store in a day. Just stop me and talk about how they love my content, stuff like that. When I tell you guys, it was just all love. And how could I not like think highly of myself or feel myself when complete strangers are out here rooting for me? So like I said, I always say this, I'm so thankful for the community I have here. I am. So I really felt like my therapist reconfirmed everything that I was thinking and researching. And she really kind of like gave me more like understanding that, like, you know, honestly, it wasn't my fault. Like, I feel like, you know, there's also even, you know, sometimes people blame me. Like, I feel like a lot of, when I talked about this, even in the past, and even in the last story time, I was getting a lot of blame for things. And again, I take accountability for everything. And my therapist made sure that I took accountability for everything. It was my fault for not going. I should have left a long time ago. Yeah, I take accountability for all that, right? But at the same time, it still wasn't my fault. Like, people deliberately choose to do harm to other people. Like, you know what I mean? So I had to learn a lot along the way of just kind of like letting it go and just being, it is what it is. Like, again, I was there for a reason, right? I was there for a reason to give that person something that they needed, and I got something that I needed as well. Despite anything, around that time, I had the greatest accomplishments of my life, my career. I got my RN around that time. I did a lot of things. And again, if I wasn't there, maybe I wouldn't be here. So I always look at it like that as well too. So I never take anything like that and say, oh, that was the worst time of my life. No. Like, I didn't center that time around a man. So that's why, and you know, I'm gonna say that, right? I wasn't self-centering my life around a man around that time, and that's why I was able to accomplish so much stuff. So can't nobody say that, because I got my whole RN around that time. My career on YouTube, Instagram was popping around that time. Come on, baby. So I don't center myself around men. I don't, and I didn't around that time, because if I did, I wouldn't be where I am now. So that's number one, baby. That is number one. So yeah, y'all, that's it. You know, that's what happened. And again, if you ever have to, if you ever feel the need to go Google, Reddit, go on TikTok and type in a behavior that you're experiencing at home, it's time to go. I'm telling you, it's time to go. It's time to hit that door, because you should. It's never that. It shouldn't be that hard. I always say that it should never be this hard. Like, if it has to be this hard, then it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's story time video, guys. Let's keep it positive vibes. Go ahead and leave your comments down below if you guys want more story times. Give me more suggestions, guys. Trying to hit y'all with a couple of these red flag situations or whatever. But if you guys want more story times, fun story times, let me know down below in the comment section. I want to say happy holidays to everyone, because you guys know Thanksgiving is like a week and a half away, guys. So not even a week and a half away. It'll be next week. Wow. Yeah, Thanksgiving's a week away. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys in a later one.